the monthly meeting of the Houston County Board of Education for March 14th of 2017. We would ask that everyone will silence their phones, and we will have a moment of silence, after which we will have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Riley Humphreys and Logan Reynolds from Langston Road Elementary. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. Will Riley and Logan please come forward? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. At this time, we are going to have the introduction of our visitors, and this is always the best part because we have the best of the best here. So we're going to ask our Langston Road Elementary Principal, Dr. Elton Mayfield, if you would introduce your guests.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Appreciate you inviting us to be here today. Thank you to all the board members. And I'd like to say I know this is Board Appreciation Week, so I'd like you all to know that we appreciate everything that you do for us and for the students of Houston County every day. Yeah. Wonderful people today that are just truly part of my heart and part of the Langston Road family. I'd like to introduce first Ms. Rashada Page. Ms. Page is a teacher at Langston Road Elementary, and she teaches our emotionally and behaviorally disturbed class, which is a special needs class at Langston Road Elementary. And every year when we nominate or we elect our Teacher of the Year, I don't know why I do this. I think I get a bigger kick out of it than they do, but I always write something because I fancy myself a little bit of a writer. Nobody else does, but I fancy myself that way. And so I always write something, and with Ms. Page, I definitely wrote about the patience of Job in the Bible and what he had and what he went through and how nothing seemed to rattle him, and he stayed stalwart and steadfast on his mission. And I can't think of a better example of a modern-day Job than Ms. Rashada Page, and she is an honor to work with every day. Young people, if they'll come join me up here. I brought two wonderful stallions with me today. For those of you who don't get that reference for the stallion, but I brought, step out so they can see because Logan's a lot bigger. So I brought two with me today. This is Logan Reynolds and Riley Humphreys. They are both in 5th grade at Langston Road Elementary. I didn't realize when I asked them, they're both in the same class at Langston Road in 5th grade. And they are just two wonderful examples of what it means to be at Langston Road. I think this is funny. We just did our middle school trips today, and Logan went to Mossy Creek to learn where he is going to be headed to next year, and Riley went to Perry. So we have an example of both middle schools that we serve as well right here. And I just want to tell you, these guys, these are just good, salt-of-the-earth kids. They are hardworking, well-meaning, great boys and girls. And I mean, we're just blessed to have a school full of people just like this, but I mean, just what shining examples of what the future holds for Houston County and for Georgia. And I just couldn't be more proud of these two. And I want to introduce who they brought with them real quick too. This is Roni Smith. We call her Nana. She is Logan's grandma. She is wonderful, a volunteer at Langston Road. And Riley's mom is actually Miss Humphreys, who is a kindergarten teacher at Langston Road. But they are wonderful people as well. So they come from good stock too. So these are our guests today. And again, thank you so much for allowing us to come and be here.
Thank you. Next we have from Hilltop Elementary, Principal Dr. Ovidia Glover. Introduce your guest, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson. Board members, I would like to say thank you so much for being at Hilltop. Thank you for supporting all schools in Houston County as well as supporting our teachers and students. On today, I brought with me the best Hawks, not the best just for today, but they're the best each and every day at Hilltop Elementary School. So I just would like to introduce two of our best Hawk students as well as our Teacher of the Year. And I'm going to start with Mr. Garrett Bosworth. Please stand. We have Garrett Bosworth. He's a fifth grade student at Hilltop Elementary School. This student brings with him lots of respect. He's an honor roll student at Hilltop Elementary School. And you guys, what really makes him special, he never changes. His demeanor is the same each and every day. And he is actually a pioneer for this year of starting the SLC, Students Living for Christ, at Hilltop Elementary School. And he does an awesome, phenomenal job. So we want to say thank you to Garrett. Garrett's goal, and I know that he will achieve this goal, he wants to be this year. So we say thank you to him. Also, I would like to introduce to you little Miss Lauren Kendrick. Lauren Kendrick, she's also a fifth grade student, you guys, with lots of personality. She smiles beautifully. She really represents Hilltop Elementary School. She wants to be a dancer. She loves singing. She loves reading and writing. However, what really makes her special, you guys, on Fridays, each Friday we have school pride, kind of like a red and black, and young ladies represented over here. But Lauren comes by on Fridays to really show me that she has her Hawk pride. She's wearing her red and black each and every day, and she lets me know that I'm Hawk and on that side. So we definitely want to say thank you to Lauren, and we appreciate her for really being a supportive Hawk at Hilltop Elementary School. And last but not least, we want to introduce the owl that in my words, y'all know the bounty paper towel, the quicker picker over? That's what Lorraine is to me. She's truly a great teacher of the year. This is my third year working with Coach Harrison, as most of us probably know Coach Harrison. And no matter what is going on at the school, she comes up kind of quietly a lot of times, and she just says, Dr. Go what you need. And this is not so much of what she's doing at that time. It seems like she's at the right place at the right time to take care of not just her PE students, she takes care of the entire school. She's always there. She's there to give it up again. And sometimes I just think, where's that paper towel? Because she's always there. She comes up and says, what do you need? She don't even have to say it. She's right there. So she's that Teacher of the Year, not just for the GM, not just for the school, but for all of us. And we want to say thank you to her.
Thank you.
We have Holly Bosworth. Please stand. She's a former Teacher of the Year at Hilltop Elementary School. This is Garrett's mom. And we have Mr. and Mrs. King.
From Pearl Stevens Elementary, Principal, Mrs. Gloria Smith, please.
Good afternoon. I too echo those sentiments that Dr. Mayfield and Dr. Glover too. Thank you so much, Superintendent Scott and the board members, and for this opportunity to stand before you today. I bring with me Mr. Singleton, who is also the Teacher of the Year for Pearl Stevens Elementary. He's done a wonderful job. He serves well in that capacity as representing Pearl Stevens. He's also, he was featured in the House and Home Journal just recently, so you can read more about his journey as a teacher. He's a third grade teacher at Pearl Stevens Elementary, and he has a wealth of knowledge, and he really loves what he does, and it shows on a daily basis. He's very adamant about just the achievement and making sure that kids get what they need socially, emotionally, and academically. He's a teacher leader. He collaborates with his team members, and he's always wanted to know, what can we do? What else can we do? How can we get the best for bang for our buck here at Pearl Stevens? What do we need to do for our vision, to push our vision forward? He's also a part of the Better Seeking team, brings a wealth of knowledge, professional dialogue, and keeping that mission alive at Pearl Stevens Elementary. He's also played a role in our Boys to Men's Club at Pearl Stevens, where he mentors students, males. So he's he's a great role model in our school at Pearl Stevens. I also bring with me Shamana Vance. She's a fourth grade student at Pearl Stevens. She's definitely a role model too at Pearl Stevens. She's a member of the Ambassadors for Pearl. She's on the AB Honor Roll. She's a newscast. She's helps deliver the news in the morning, live announcements. She's also voices of pearls. She sings in the chorus. So she brings, she's just a great role model for her peers. And we have Jonathan Reed here with us, who's a 5th grader at Earl Stevens. Jonathan also represented us in the county spelling bee. So Jonathan sort of is just really concerned about being that role model for his peers. He's also musically inclined. He plays the violin. He also plays the recorder, and he's a part of the Knowledge Club. And thank you all again for an opportunity for being here.
From Mossy Creek Middle, Principal Dr. Andy Gentry. Your guest, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here today. I want to give my sentiments to the board too. Thank you so much for all that you do. I'm so impressed that when you make decisions, you put students and teachers first, and I appreciate that a whole lot. We don't see that across our country a lot, so thank you for doing that. I also want to let you know we have 5th grade day today. We may mention out a little bit. At Mossy Creek, we were represented by 13 different elementary schools at our school today. I was so impressed by the job that our elementary schools do. They are giving us a great product. So thank you so much to our elementary schools for what you do. Today our also guest with me, first is Anna McKenzie. Anna is a 7th grader at Mossy Creek Middle School, and Anna is what I would call the most improved student at Mossy Creek Middle School. As a 6th grader, Anna was very quiet. She was very shy in the classroom. She just kind of hid in the shadows a little bit. But from 6th grade to 7th grade, she has just become a blooming flower. She has become active in Creek Crafters. That is one of her passions. She is so concerned about learning, and she will not give up until she gets it. And she is a very talented writer. She is a very avid reader. And she has done a great job at Mossy Creek in becoming a model student. I am so proud of you, Anna. Thank you for being my guest today. This is Anna McKenzie.
All right.
My next guest is Miss Haley Shepard. Haley is an 8th grader at Mossy Creek Middle School. She is not only gifted academically, but she's gifted athletically. And so I'm going to read all of this and what she's done. She's made all A's in middle school through 6th grade to 8th grade. She loves language arts and writing. She's a member of FCA and our Partners Club. She was a product of Lake Joey Elementary, where her mom teaches. In athletics, in softball, she's won 2 county championships. In basketball, 1 county championship and a runner-up. In soccer, she's won 1 county championship. She also runs track, where she placed 3rd with the team last year, and her team in the 4x400 meter relay came in 3rd place. She is a gifted leader. She's a gifted teammate. She's a gifted athlete, but she's also a very model student at Mossy Creek. And she is going to Veterans High School. So you'll be glad to get her. Now, this is Haley Shepard. And our teacher of the year for last year is Miss Kirsten Arnold. Miss Arnold came to us from Crawford County, where I stole her from. She was her school's teacher of the year in Crawford County, but she was also the district teacher of the year in Crawford County. So when I heard that and knew she was living in our community, I contacted her and said, "You need to get on board with our school system." I stole her about 4 years ago. She is an EVD special education teacher and does a phenomenal job. I've got a good story about her. When I first hired her, she told me how she teaches, and she said, "I teach by stations." And I was like, "Man, that's going to be pretty tough in an emotional behavior disorder classroom." She said, "Just give me a little bit of time." So I can remember going in her room, and what you would see is you would see Miss Arnold with a group of kids teaching them, doing one-on-one conferencing. You would see her parapro doing one-on-one conferencing with another kid, and then you would see the kids doing 3 or 4 different stations independent work. And I was so impressed. So she has become a model classroom at our school. Our teachers go visit her classroom to see how you can incorporate stations into your classroom and to make it work with some of the toughest kids that we teach. And so she has done a great job of that. Not only is she good at teaching and learning, she is a great communicator. The parents that she talks with, and they really trust her. They love her opinions. They love her ideas. And she always has parents coming to me and thanking me for putting their kid in her room. The last thing that she's great at, and probably the most important thing that we have in education, is the relationships that she builds with her kids and her parents every single day. Her kids love being in her room. The parents love having their kid in her room. She builds relationships with our teachers in the building, and she is just a model student, and she was our teacher of the year this past year. So I introduce to you Ms. Kirsten Arnold.
Good afternoon. Yes, that's right. Good afternoon. Thank you all for having us here today. Thank you to the executive cabinet members, our board members. Thank you so much for all that you do. The support that you've given us is amazing. We feel the support throughout the school, throughout our community, and it's well worth it when we get to bring our kids up and tell them, let them see the products that you're supporting us for. So thank you very much for all that you do, and happy Appreciation Week. With me today, I have Ms. Susan Bray, who is our Teacher of the Year for 2016-2017. She's our AP English teacher. She teaches English language, AP English language. She also has been the star teacher in 2000 and 2004 as well. She's a relationship type person. She builds relationships with the students, and she challenges them. She pushes the rigor. She makes sure that they understand what they're learning, and not just understand what they're learning, but why they're learning. Ms. Bray has been very good with her colleagues. Everybody loves her. The administration staff, me being a new person to the culture of the school, she's done such a great job of welcoming me and anybody new in the staff that she's welcomed to them. So she's been a huge part to our success at Perry High School. I don't know if you saw, if any of you follow me on the Facebook, she was part of the plan, helped make that plan to send the other young man that we're going to talk about, the young man that I brought with me, to sing poetry out loud. That was part of Ms. Bray and Ms. Heath send-off for him. So we thank you, Ms. Bray, for being here. Thank you for being an exceptional teacher at Perry High School. Miss Charlie Lawless, who is our Miss Perry High of the Year, 2017. She's Miss Perry High this year, and I joked with her, in 1 week she was performing for Miss Perry High and won, and then the very next week, or the week after that, she was showing pigs. She just has all the talent, and she's very gifted in what she does in academics and in the extracurricular. She won second place in region on state for region FFA Hog Show. I think I got it right. And then she placed fifth at for the state level. So Miss Charlie Lawless has been doing a great job in the school. She's always an advocate, as you see. She came from the Young Leadership, Perry's Young Leadership earlier today. So she was like, is it okay that I wear this today? Because I'm coming straight from there. And she's multi-talented and multi-gifted, so thank you, Ms. Lawrence. Mr. Joshua Sands Lee. This is the young man that I was just talking about. Mr. Lee, I met him actually during this July when I was visiting Camp John Hope for the leadership for the cadets. He's also in the Air Force JROTC program, and he was. It was brought to my attention about this young man how great he is and how articulate with not just his academics, but just in everything he puts his effort to. He's successful in. He's only in the 10th grade, and he won first place in the region for the Poetry Out Loud. He's taken all AP gifted classes, and he is excelling in all his grades. He went and represented Perry High School and the community at the state competition in this. This is your first year doing this, right? For the Poetry Out Loud? Second year doing it, and he's determined to continue to do that. He said he's going to be the top of the top. He's going to continue to do it till he wins it all. I meant to tell Ms. Lawless though, but he plans to go join the Marines when he graduates. He said he would like to be a Marine pilot and eventually come back to education and be a ROTC instructor as well. So, Mr. Joshua Sands Lee. Ms. Lawless plans to go to UGA. She wants to major in ag. She said that once she finishes that, she would like to come back to Perry and work at the Perry Fairgrounds and represent the ag for Perry. So, on time right there. Thank you.
Last month, we recognized the Veterans High School FFA junior and senior meets teams for winning state championships. Veteran has another FFA team that won the state championship and advanced to the national competition. The agricultural sales team won first place at the Georgia FFA competition held in February. 2 team members also won individual awards. Would advisor Mr. Jeff Wilson and his student please come forward. Mr. Wilson, we are proud of the accomplishment of you and your students. Please introduce your FFA team and tell us a bit about the competition.
Yes, sir. First, thank y'all for having us. This is a really tough, of all the teams that I picked, this is the toughest one to do. The kids have to be very smart, very hard working, they have to have the ability to think on their feet and the ability to communicate. Finding all that in a short period of time was really tough. Who I have with me is Mr. Landon Ritchie, Ms. Ashley Durr, and Ms. Shannon Ferguson. And not with us today is Mr. Hunter Cottle, who's not feeling well. What they have to do at the area level is they have to do an individual sales pitch to a judge given a certain scenario. And what makes it hard is that there is no script. The kids have to understand how to ask questions to determine the needs of the customer, how to fit those products to the needs, so they have to build a lot of product knowledge. They have to be able to handle objections, and in the end they have to close the sale, which is, in a nutshell, the sales process. We ended up winning area, and then when we went to the state competition, they had the individual sale again, and they had to take a test, a 25-question test that's on marketing and sales. And in the end, those scores were tabulated, and we were one of the final 4. When you go to the final 4, you're in a team sale activity, which they were given a set of target customers. They were given a set of products. They aligned the products to the customer's needs, and then they had 20 minutes to design an entire sales presentation, which they then presented to the judges, and we were lucky enough in the end to be the best team in the state. And they'll go to nationals next October.
Northside High School freshman Deshaun Barber won the Class 6A title at 132 pounds, defeating the opponent from Valdosta. Would Deshaun please come forward with his coaches, Kelvin McDavid and Lindsay Levi. And as they're coming, I told Deshaun, when I shook his hand earlier, I said, don't throw me down, okay? Because I know you can do it. Congratulations. Please tell us about your rest of it.
Of course, we have Deshaun Parker here. Deshaun came in, he's a rushing force at Northside High School. His record this season, he finished up 28-2. All right, so that's a pretty good job in himself. Those two losses came early in the season to an opponent at Houston County High School, and that student athlete finished up second in the state. His only other losses to the young man that finished in the finals, that he beat in the finals. So he did an excellent job for it this year. After those two early season losses, he went on to win the region championship, the sectional championship, and also the state championship. And as you heard, the best we brought it down, the best thing about him, he's only a freshman, he has 3 marks. All right, so again, that's Deshaun Parker, and also our assistant coach, Lee.
All right. We have a Bonnie Middle School 6th grader, Miss Kelsey Norris, has been named one of Georgia's top tribute volunteers for the 2017 Presidential Spirit of Community Award. Kelsey has volunteered more than 1,000 hours. This high number of volunteer hours also qualified her for the President's Volunteer Service Award Certificate and a letter from the President. Mr. Steve Hill, a Prudential representative, is here to present Kelsey with the award. Will Mr. Hill and Kelsey please come forward?
Thank you all for having us today. My company, Prudential Financial, in partnership with the National Association of Secondary School Principals, sponsors this national award. Over the years, we've been using this as for young people, using their creativity and their compassion to improve their community and other communities throughout the country. These volunteers we serve as role models for others to help develop. Right now, over 1,000 young people across the country were considered for this 2017 Presidential Award through Prudential. One from each state in the middle schools and also high schools is chosen for this special recognition. Here in Georgia, I'm delighted to say that Kelsey is the middle school honoree for Georgia. She came, you mentioned over 1,000 volunteer hours. I just can't imagine 1,000 hours volunteering for something like that. But also, she's raised over $20,000 for these projects and everything. In honor of this, Kelsey, she's going to be invited to Washington, D.C. in May to join the other honorees in the state for a 4-day special recognition event. And that time, she will also receive a $1,000 award, and she will be considered for one of 10 national awards. Kelsey, I'd like to present to you your Spirit Award, and you may not be able to hold this thing up. Thank you.
Each year, it's a joy to hear the winners of the elementary school oratorical contest. Our Director of Gifted Education, Ms. Jan Jacobson, is on conference today, so Ms. Beth McLaughlin will fill in for her today. Ms. McLaughlin, please come forward and introduce the winners.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Well, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to introduce our top 3 orators. All 19 of our elementary school children, 5th graders, to compete here at the district level. They've chosen the best of the best at their school level, and I get to introduce them to you today. I first want to tell you this year's topic was what the world gains from optimism. And students are judged on their voice, speech content, delivery, and overall effectiveness. And I've served as a judge worked earlier. Do you have a teacher voice to project?
Can y'all hear me? Hi, my name is Kennedy Martin, and I'm here to tell you about what the world gains from optimism. What would the world be without your optimism? You might think that one person could not make a huge impact. Well, if you were to just try, you may learn that you can be important. Optimism is contagious. Pass it on. to her father survived. But what you may not know is that through all of this awfulness, Anne remained optimistic. Don't believe me? Take one look at her diary and you'll be convinced. Anne once wrote, I don't believe in all the misery, but in the beauty that still remains. There's still a ton of optimism in our world today. We just need people to help us find it. I see those quarters in your pocket you were going to use to buy ice cream. Why not use them for someone else's happiness instead of your own? Couldn't you spare yourself a kind of rocky road and relieve someone else of their worry for just 1 second so that they could be happy? You could. And that man in the park, if you give him a smile, it might just make his day. So let's say you walk through the curb, and as he's checking out, he smiles at the cashier, he smiles at the next customer in line, he smiles at her daughter, he shares it with her brother. Just imagine how far that chain reaction could go on. If our world was a more optimistic place, we would accomplish incredible things. Because optimism brings pride, perseverance, and most importantly, peace. Thank you.
Watching and listening to students like this and the other students who are out here, this gives me more of a reason to continue to serve and do whatever I can to help our children. You guys are the best. Thank you very much. Thank you. Last night we reviewed our agenda and our consent agenda. The board, do you have any comments at all on these items? And also our agenda for today, Ms. Hughes, I'd like to have a motion, please.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
It has been motioned and second that we adopt the agenda as presented. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The minutes from the previous meeting, Ms. Hughes.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from our February meeting.
Second.
It has been motioned and second that we approve the minutes from the previous meeting. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Board member comments, we're going to start with Ms. Johnson-Lori.
Thank you. Welcome to everybody, and thank you to all of our talented and smart guests. You guys on the FFA team, you can talk to me later. I like your sales pitches and your marketing. Great ideas. Thank you for Langston Road for having us last night. We had a great productive meeting, and I think we took care of a lot of business, so we are ready to roll. I would say happy spring, but it does not feel like it has. Thank you.
Hope.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to say thank you to Dr. Mayfield last night for the wonderful dinner, the great hospitality. Once again, I'm always impressed with the way the schools treat us, and it's a pleasure to go and visit and eat and fellowship with y'all, and I want to thank you for that. I had mentioned last month about the wrestling teams for the county, how well we were represented, and Mr. Farber did a great job. I think he even did a greater job. It's a tradition with coaches that if your kid makes it to the finals, you wear a suit. First time I ever seen Coach Mack, I've known him a long time. And the suit today was the second time. And so keep it up, bud. And just keep him in that suit at least twice a year. And a great job, Coach Mack, Coach Levi, and Sean, naturally. You know, it's a pleasure to watch you. I saw you several times this year. And you know, I remember after our tournament there in Perry, I walked up to Coach Mack and said, "Where'd you get him?" He said, "Don't tell nobody, he's my secret." You know, I said, "Well, he's going to be a good one," and that's proved true. But thank you, FFA. You know, my kids grew up in it, and I did 30-something years ago, but it doesn't matter. It's always a pleasure. It seems like every month that we have people represented with FFA, and our county just does such a great job. Mr. Wilson, thank you for what you do, and you know, men and women, that's just great. great. State champion to state champion, and that's just great. Thank you to everyone once again for allowing us to serve. These gifts, I always get excited because I get candy and stuff like that. And if Reese's Cups, Snicker bars, the little ones, that's what I like. I'm thinking the little ones. I eat a bunch of them and I don't think it's bad. But thank you for allowing us to serve, and I appreciate being here. Thank y'all for being here.
All right. Rick?
I'd like to also welcome everyone here. You've been recognized for a lot of different things, wide spectrum of activities, but I want to thank you for what you do every day, because those are the things that make it successful. I can thank Dr. Mayfield for your wonderful hospitality. It was a great ending to a great day, but we really enjoyed our time at your school. I'd like to thank everyone, all those who have, for the expressions of appreciation, the gifts, of course, but the email box full of greetings this week has been great, and thank you very much for that appreciation. Finally, I'd just like to say I'm looking forward to the 5th grade honor choir this Saturday at 3 o'clock at Southside Baptist, so join me there.
Brian?
Good afternoon, thank you. And if I've ever been optimistic about the future of Houston County, it's today for sure. I can hear you guys' stories and all the stories, success stories of all our other students and teachers. I know that the future is in good hands for this county. And if a Marine pilot wants to come back and teach in Houston County, I know we're in good shape. So good luck. Thank you for all the gifts and all the emails and kind words. That's, again, some of what we do is not the funnest, but that makes our job pleasant. We appreciate that. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for the Warner Robins Rock and Roll. My wife says I wear everything else but Warner Robins. She wants Warner Robins, so she's going to be happy when I bring home the Rock and Roll.
All right. Dave?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Mayfield, we too want to say thank you for being such a gracious host last night. Appreciate the opportunity to always visit Langston Road. And please thank your staff for the extra time and effort they put into having us in your building last night. While you don't know where to start, all this great group we've had with us today, we have another awesome group of students, teachers, and administrators with us today. Thank all of you for what you do to make Houston County shine. And as already mentioned, we appreciate the emails and the kind words, Board Appreciation Week. Y'all make our job easy. Great teachers, administrators, and students we have in the county. Just serving y'all is enjoyable. It's always great to recognize our state champions, veterans, and Sean at Northside, our Houston County Sharks won another wheelchair basketball championship. We appreciate what they do. Congratulations to Kelsey on the Spirit of Community Award. To our 5th grade oratorical students, that was awesome.
Yes.
Just getting up in front of people making speeches, you did a great job, and we appreciate you for doing that. I also like to say a great job to all of our ag students, not only the ones who are here today, but all of those who put a lot of time and effort in showing their animals this year. If you don't know a whole lot about that, that takes an awful lot of responsibility and time for them to do that. They did a great job, and we had a lot of great awards for that this year. I think I have a picture up there. You can see that. In February, I went on a mission trip to Nicaragua. And I was out in a remote village helping build a church out there. And one morning I went out to start work, and here was a guy who lives there with a Perry Primary shirt on. What a surprise. I had no idea how that shirt got down there. I see a lot of old Bluebird buses, but it's very rare you see something from that close to home. Dr. Mayfield, I don't know if he's an alumni or not. I couldn't communicate with him real well, but I got my phone out and kind of let him know I want to take a picture, so he just smiled and gave me a thumbs up. So anyway, Perry Primary is an internationally known. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I also
got to see how hard work pays off. The cleanliness of our schools, the friendly environments, and most importantly, the learning that's taking place in our classrooms on a daily basis. We went on Wednesday, but we could go any other day of the week and the same thing would be taking place. So it's not just a show for other board members to come in, but this is happening every day at our schools. So Houston County has a really lot to be proud of, and we're one of the most respected school systems in the state. And also, Mr. Wilson and I had an opportunity to go to a workshop in Macon, and we're with other boards from other systems in our state. And it kind of, the workshop focused on conflict resolution. Now, we don't really have a lot of conflicts at home. That's not a headline or anything. But Mr. Wilson and I arm wrestling. That's a workshop. But it was a reminder that there's always a give and take in any setting, and also the importance of maintaining a friendship, even when you might disagree or when things are, you have differences of opinions. So enjoy your spring break. It's coming soon, a couple of weeks, and then get ready for the sprint in April and May. So at the end of the year, we'll be here before we know it.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes. Several comments I have here. Ms. Hughes has already mentioned about the board chair workshop, and I want to share with you about the arm wrestling we did because it was about conflict resolution. And what we came up with, she and I ended up arm wrestling each other. And as I was talking with her before we got started, I said, is she going to beat me? Am I going to beat her? Well, we came up with something that we use right here on our board. And that is, we came up with a give and take. And the first time around, she took me down. Second time around, I took her down. Third time around, and it was like this. And when we shared that, believe it or not, some board members did not agree with it. In other words, they said, you should only agree with those who are right. Well, everybody thinks they're right. And so we try to listen to everyone, respect everyone, and share what everyone has to say and what everyone has to give. So that's what we came up with and came out with when we were at that workshop. It was a great training session. She mentioned about the school visits. Yes, we have a lot to be thankful for, and I'm very thankful that our schools have the kind of support, have the kind of leadership and teaching that goes on in every classroom. Also, I got a chance to participate in the Read Across America, as well as reading to students during Black History Month, and it was really great. No matter what level that the classroom we go into, the kids are very open, they're receptive to us reading to them and sharing with them and asking them questions and things like that. So it was a great experience, both of those. And then also I want to congratulate all of our high schools basketball teams because they had a very successful year this year. First of all, 9 out of 10 of our high school teams participated in the state playoffs, so congratulations to all 9 of you. And then 4 of our teams advanced to the Elite 8 from Perry High School boys, Northside High School boys, Warner Robins High School girls, and Warner Robins High School boys. And then 3 of our teams from Houston County also won region championships, Northside High School girls, Warner Robins High School girls, and Warner Robins High School boys. So congratulations for a successful seasons for all of our high school basketball teams. And then one last thing, I participated in Georgia School Board Association Board of Directors retreat and a meeting this past weekend, and I got a chance to share with them some of the things when we're talking about our individual systems. I got a chance to share with them some of the facts about Houston County, and they really were impressed with the facts that we have in this booklet here for coming from our school system. So again, there are great things going on in Houston County. You really get to appreciate it when you go out and listen to other board members and other school systems and some of the things that they are doing or trying to do. Houston County, and that's because of all of you. You're doing a great job, and we are proud to serve as your board members. Thank you very much. Dr. Scott.
Yes, we've had an opportunity here today to
share some successes of our students and our teachers, but I want to continue that by talking a little bit about our schools and our district as a whole. The State Department announced 7 of our schools have been named 2016-2017 Title I Award Schools. Centerville Elementary and Quailvin Elementary were chosen for the highest performance for 3 years of student scores on statewide assessments. They rank in the top 5% of Georgia. Eagle Springs and Northside Elementary, Russell Elementary, Shirley Hills Elementary, and Westside Elementary were chosen for high progress. They were among the top 10% of the state's Title I schools that made the most progress in improved performance over 3 years on statewide assessments. And I'd also point out that with Northside Elementary and Eagle Springs Elementary, they became the 14th and 15th school in the state of Georgia, elementary school in the state of Georgia, to become STEM certified. And so all of that hard work for STEM certification is certainly paying off in their academics. And so that's something that we're very proud of, those teachers, those administrators, and of course those students. The state also recently released beating the odds data for schools for 2016, meaning that they performed better than statistically expected on CCRPI based on their enrollment, their mobility, and their demographics. 21 of our schools made the list, and 7 of those schools were on the list for beating the odds for 5 consecutive years, which was represented. There was only 232 schools in the state that had 5 years of representation on that list. All 21 of those schools were certainly should be proud of their accomplishment, but I wanted to point out Centerville Elementary School, Northside Elementary School, Parkwood Elementary School, Quail Run Elementary, Shirley Hills Elementary, Westside Elementary, and Veterans High for having 5 years of beating the odds. So congratulations to those schools. Also, we had some AP honor schools that were recognized. 5 of our schools were honored, and of course we have 5 high schools, and they were all honored in some way for these AP awards. For AP Merit Schools, it was Houston County High and Veterans High. There were 2 of only 69 in the state. All 5 schools are both AP STEM schools and AP STEM Achievement schools. And then our AP Humanities schools were Houston County and Cary, and they were 2 of 149 in the state. And so we certainly appreciate all the hard work of those programs, and also Jan Jacobson, who is our district coordinator. We're also pleased to announce in our central registration that we're now offering families the option to make appointments online for new students to complement our online registration process, and this will hopefully save some time and also some frustration for our families who are registering new to the community. Pre-K registration is also underway. It began on February the 27th and will continue through March the 24th, and we expect approximately 1,300 children to register for pre-K. Our teacher recruitment fair was held this past Saturday, and I appreciate Cindy Fletcher and Ricky Rogers and all their department and their hard work. It was a successful event. We had over 500 applicants to come participate in the recruitment fair, but we also had all of our principals and administrators and lots of teachers that volunteered their time on Saturday to look for the best and the brightest to bring them to our district. So we're very proud of that, and I always want to say thank you to Chris Brown and Veterans High School for hosting that event. And some of the looks on the faces of those people that were coming in, they were pretty impressed with the facility and the cleanliness and the cooperation that we received on that day. There are lots of special opportunities in March to celebrate people in our school system. Today is Paraprofessional Appreciation Day, and they're a big part of what we do. Also, March is Exceptional Children's Month, Music in Our Schools Month, Social Work Month, and Youth Art Month. We appreciate everyone for their commitment to our students. And also during the month of March, Dr. Unruh has a birthday on March 23rd, so we wish him a happy early birthday. And spring break is in 2 weeks, starting on March 27th through the 31st. And I hope everyone has a great spring break. And I do want to close out by talking about another special week, and that is School Board Appreciation Week. We're so very fortunate in Houston County to have a school board that works together, that really believes in the Houston County way, doing things right, doing the right thing, putting students first, being professional. And Mr. Wilson shared some of that in his comments, but I'm thankful to serve with such a great board. They've always been very supportive of me, and they're passionate
about keeping the right thing the right thing. And so with that, we have some special gifts, and I'd ask if the board would give the opportunity to stretch your legs. If you'll come up front, we're going to give you a gift, and then we're going to take a picture. These are certificates that we're giving him, and Josh is staying right here. And so, Mr. Wilson probably has about 20 plus of these. But I do want to start with our chair, Mr. Wilson, and then our vice chair, Helen Hughes, and Lori Johnson, in District 2, Brian Upshaw, District 7, Hope Morrow, District 6, Dr. Rick Unruh, District 1, y'all changed places on me. District 3. And also, we've been very fortunate. We created the Fab Lab, and I hope all of y'all have heard of our Fab Lab. But we have wonderful opportunity for our community to go and do some woodworking. And we've got some of our staff, our executive cabinet, and that are members over there, and they go all the time. And so they made these gifts for the board members. These are quick cutting boards that have your last name on them. On the back, they have the Houston County seal. For the I believe it has the date on there. It has the date. And so they spent a lot of time and effort to hand make all of these and prepare them for you. So we're going to give you each one of these. Mr. Crockett. The next item on our agenda is our financial report. David?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the January 2017 financial report as presented last evening.
Second. It has been motioned and second that we approve the January financial report as presented. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The personnel report. Oh.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to present the personnel report. That we approved the personnel report as presented last night, Ms. Fletcher.
Second.
It has been motioned and second that we approve the personnel report as presented on last evening. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
We have two individual personnel items that we need a motion on, so Brian.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve as presented Mrs. Kelly Sharp for the position of Assistant Principal for Instruction at Northside Middle.
Second.
It has been motioned and second that we approve the superintendent's recommendation to appoint Ms. Kelly Sharp for the position of Assistant Principal for Instruction at Northside Middle. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to, upon the superintendent's recommendation, I'd like to recommend Mrs. Dana Brock for the position of assistant principals split between Kings Chapel and Langston Road Elementary Schools.
Second.
It has been motioned and second that we approve the superintendent's recommendation to appoint Ms. Dana Brock for the position of assistant principal split between Kings Chapel Elementary and Langston Road Elementary. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda will be the approval of the purchase the bond documents.
Mr. Wilson, I think that Mr. King wanted to make a presentation on the rating and this bond purchase.
Yes, sir. Come forward, sir.
Yes, Chairman Wilson, school board members, my name is Frank King. I work with Raymond James as a part of the team that worked on this, and they've actually done it since 2000. This is my fourth time with y'all. I'm 79 or 80 years old when you do another. And I'm probably not going to do it. So I said, just give me 2 minutes. I have never felt more having to speak behind those hard targets. I wish I had never said I was other thing. I was in the public schools superintendent 21 years before I did this. And this time of year, and I'm working with about 100 school systems, so I speak with some experience. This time of year, we were in finance and personnel issues into the spring, and the legislature was meeting, and we just had doom board meetings. And I said, I'm going to add something to that board meeting, because I'm going to say it up private thing. Well, I've heard it for 2 hours, Mr. President. I mean, it is the best school board meeting I've ever been to, Chairman Wilson. Less than a minute and a half, I want to say this. 3 points. One is, and you recognize kids, teachers, and I know some of you deaf and some of you other people. Specifically, this was our first time getting to work with Dr. Scott. Excellent choice for schools. I've known every one of them since Matt Office. This is my 54th year of work. Excellent choice. Best thing, one of the good things about he's young, he's going to work 10 to 12 more years. You won't have to worry about that. Another thing is, Mr. Stewart, all this Alabama foolishness and all this, I say in all sincerity, there's not a better finance guy.
That's for sure.
Than George. I mean, he does an excellent job. We're the beneficiary of his wisdom and planning. We're about to talk $32 million and 3 point something in interest stuff that your average person just can't conceive. And you know, so that's my second point is you always seem to have a plan. I'm right back here. I called him 2 years ago and said, we need to start thinking about it. My plan is, stop. Called him about 6 months ago, interest rates are moving, Mr. Stewart. My plan is, but really, there's a plan in the midst of it. That ain't true everywhere. I promise you, that is not true everywhere. So anyway, that being said, y'all are going to get a good report. We've got good interest rates today. Really proud of it. One, because of good economy in town, because you folks, even though you got this base, you still promote economic development. And secondly, the school's finance numbers are excellent. They really are. And don't let them, stay with good fund balance, all this kind of thing. The third, we have a rating call. You got a high school rating, I think, of the year, just about in the And with these rating services, and I just listened to Dr. Scott and Mr. Thubman articulated everything about your system to do your rating service. And got good ratings, and your citizens will never appreciate it. There was probably a significant $200,000 or $300,000 savings because of the way they articulated in that phone call. So, all that being said, you got 25 or 30,000 kids, hundreds of personnel. I guarantee you, Dr. Scott, there's probably 24 major problems occur in the school system. But if you just stay above what these folks work, you got some real good leadership going on, and neighbors can get points. We're only talking about finance pieces today. I know you got a lot of other things. But all that being said, I enjoyed going through this with y'all for the last 17 years.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, board, I'm Tom Owens. I've worked with Frank for a good many of those 17 years now, and I would just tell you, don't let it get to not be here. there are two, one's got some blue on, one's got some red on it. These are just those rating reports that Frank referenced. We're not going to present those, but those are a third-party view of the school district's operations and finances, and you have a little bit of time that may be something that's of interest to you. I would point out it's, you know, you can please all the people some of the time category. One of them cites a resilient local economy anchored by Robbins Air Force Base, and the other one is a credit challenge, cites the economic concentration due to Robbins Air Force Base. So, you know, sometimes we can't win for losing, but I know we would all prefer that next few years not. So we'll keep citing them as positive. Frank mentioned that there's been a tremendous amount of work that goes into a bond issue. A lot of that work is done here locally by your staff. I have a copy of what we call a preliminary official statement. This is a document that goes out to investors that they use to do their evaluation of the school district along with those rating reports. You can see the thickness of this document. This is a document that Mr. Fielder and his staff, as well as Mr. Gerald's and your bond attorneys, Butler Snow, have to make it do a tremendous job putting together. It's not a small task. In addition, bonds in public markets come along with an obligation to update some of this every year. So he does a great job of keeping those filings up to date. It's a big deal when those fall behind in terms of your next bond sale. So your folks are doing a great job of keeping up with that. I did very quickly want to walk through this presentation, which I think gives you the pertinent details about the bond sale. These bonds were approved on March 1st of last year. That's the presidential preference primary. They were approved with a resounding approval percentage. But if you can just turn over to the next page here, these are a few of the relevant statistics. Bond price, we call the pricing day yesterday. That's the day we were actually in the market looking for commitments from folks who were going to own these bonds. I'll get to those interest rates just a moment. Bonds will be delivered. We decided not to deliver them in the middle of spring break. The bond sale will close the week after spring break on April 6th. Your first interest payment will come due September the 1st. Municipal bonds typically pay semi-annual interest and annual principal. So you have an interest payment every 6 months. That September 1st date is beyond the start of your new squad. First check you get from your new sales tax comes in on May 1st. So you should be able to cover that from the sales tax. We try to avoid a situation where you borrow to cover your own interest payment, but there are a lot of schools who are in that situation. And then you'll pay principal down on these bonds annually every September 1st, starting 2018 through 2022. Right there in the middle of the page, you can see the bond ratings. The school district got an underlying rating. So this is just the school district on a standalone basis, rated AA2, AA by Moody's and Standard & Poor's. That is just 2 notches for AAA rating, which is the highest you can hear. The state of Georgia is AAA credit. You're just 2 notches below that. So that's an outstanding assessment of the school district's financials. Again, the only negative thing they can find to say, as far as we can see, is that there's some concentration issues concerning the bank. I think that's well known that there's certainly efforts underway locally to diversify and get into other businesses. At the very bottom, these are kind of the headline numbers. Your bonds have a weighted average maturity. Some will pay off faster, some will pay off a little slower in that 5-year period. But on average, your bonds will be outstanding for just over 3.5 years. We have to report an interest rate to the IRS using a particular way they want you to do that calculation. Based on that calculation, your interest rate is 161. We like to also show you the all-inclusive cost that takes into account if you do pay fees, pay rating fees, underwriter discount, or legal fees involved in order to get bonds sold in the public markets. So the all-inclusive cost of money on your bonds is 1.96%. So we're sub 2% on the 5-year bond issue, which we think is very attractive cost of funds. Page 3, again, I'm going to try to move fairly quickly through this, but these bonds are what we call a premium bond. That means the investor pays a little over face value for those. So we sold a $30 million principal amount. That generates a little over $3 million premiums. They're paying you about 110 cents on the dollar for every dollar bond you sell. You can see there the important thing what you look at is the yield. That represents the cost of that money. That's because they're paying more face value against that yield depending on the on average. Page 4 just shows you the debt service schedule. These are on an annualized basis on the far right. You can see what the payments cost you. You can see in the highest year, just over $7 billion. Page 5 is what we call a sources and uses fund. So at the very top, you can see the bond sale, including that premium. At the bottom, I've got the yellow line there. You can see the deposit into your construction fund. That's what we'll build in that fund on April 6th. And then you can see the various costs associated with getting bonds to the public markets listed on an individual basis below there. Most of these are firm numbers at this point. There are a few that are estimates, but we expect to be under. If we're different, we expect to be too good on the numbers. One thing we always like to do is just compare what's the sales tax bring in a year versus your bond payment. Your last 12 months in February, it brought in $22,134,000 in sales tax revenue. And comparing that to a payment a little over $7 million. So you've got almost 3 times what you need a year in bond payments. Page 7, we make some projections as far as growth. I don't want you to get too fixated on this page. This just gives you some type of an idea of if you're growing at various annualized rates, what type of total money you expect to earn for 5-year sales tax. And then page 8 is just simply a chart that shows that green line being about 3 times what your highest payment is on the bond. So these are general obligation bonds. For some reason, that sales tax is never short. There would be a property tax levy to make up the difference, and so we'd like to have that very large margin of safety. We would take it. The absolutely catastrophic event if you not be able to pay these bonds just as the sales tax. So we are very comfortable with it. We're happy to answer any questions you might have.
If there's no questions, the resolution authorizing the purchase and sale of bonds is before you. The document that you were provided authorizes the chairman and the superintendent to execute any and all documents necessary to close the bonds, as well as the bond purchase agreement, which is an agreement between Raymond James and the school district. And then we would have a final closing and mass signing of documents on April 6th.
And then kind of just put all of that into simple terms. If you look at the bottom line deposited on page 5 to the construction fund, and then if you look at the total principal and interest on page 4, the difference between those two is pretty much the cost of how they're coming up with the percentage of what it's costing you for this amount of money. So it's right at $2.2 billion for the cost of borrowing the $33 billion.
That's right. And Dr. Sush also put out, anytime you issue general obligation bonds, the board of commissioners does have to take an action. It's a tax levy resolution, and it's no different than your regular property tax levy. They are the tax collecting body in House County. That's just the way the state government is set up. So those folks are not being asked to levy a tax, but in order to have general obligation bonds, that resolution needs to be in place. But it is no different than when you ask them to levy your regular taxes.
That resolution is on their agenda for the 21st.
We want you to know what that is. If you hear anything about that, you need to have an item that you're asking them to adopt. If there are no further questions, as Frank said, it's a privilege for us to be able to work for you. We can stack all up against anybody that we work for. That's over other places. This is not only well known, but y'all get great results with your students. So we're proud to be a very small part of that.
Thank you, thank you. And I just want to say, Mr. Thublin's expertise and Dr. Scott's leadership keeps us as a board abreast of what's going on. And of course, Mr. Gerald, from the legal standpoint, we are where we are and keep moving forward. So thank you all very much. Thank you very much. With that in mind, we need a motion on the approval of the bond purchase documents. Brian.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve as presented the bond purchase agreement between Houston County School District as issuer and Raymond James and Associates as underwriter dated March 14, 2017, relating to the $30 million general obligation
All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Get a second.
I'll second. Yeah, I'll second, yes, thank you. Next item on the agenda will be the surplus portable buildings.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the surplusing of 11 portable buildings that are beyond hope.
It has been motioned and second that we authorize the surplus of 11 portable buildings, and these buildings are 20+ years old. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The next item will be Miller Elementary parking lot improvement.
Yes, sir, I'd like to make a motion to approve, approving Mulkey Inc., right? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve Mulkey Inc. for their work on the parking and site improvements at Miller Elementary.
Second.
It has been motioned and second that we approve Oak Mulkey Inc. to do the site work on the parking for improvement for Miller Elementary School. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Quail Run, same.
Yes, I'd like to ask for the approval for the contract for engineering and professional services between the Board of Education of Houston County and Mulkey Inc. for the design and contract administration of the Quail Run Elementary School parking site improvements. Financial impact, $14 million.
14,000.
I say grand.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said million.
14,000.
Thank you. Thank you. It has been motioned and second that we approve Oak Mulkey Inc. for the parking and site improvement for Quail Run Elementary. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And last item to vote on will be the new medical vendor contract. Lori?
Yes, sir, I'd like to make a motion to enter into a contract with a new Medicaid vendor called Go Solutions Group Inc. to increase efficiency of reporting by therapists and decrease billing costs of the system. It's estimated this will save us not only about $30,000 a year, but it will free up our clinicians and therapists to spend more time with their students.
It has been motioned and second that we approve the new Medicaid vendor contract, saving over $30,000 per year and all the other beneficiaries that we will get from that. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Those are all the items that we have to take action on. The next item on the agenda will be persons to address the board. Do we have a Miss Tian Boss here? Thank you. Come on down.
I am the Executive Director of Houston County Family Connections. Some of you may remember that organization as Kids Journey. We recently changed our name. And I'm here to invite you and the community to an open house for our teen maze. What is a teen maze? It's really difficult for me to explain to you what it is, but I'll do my best. It is a hands-on learning environment where our youth get to experience the consequences of their life choices without the real-life consequences. They don't make their choices in the maze. They're drawn for them. They're spun on a wheel. There's dice that's thrown. So it's by chance. So there's no stigma attached to what they experience in the maze. Some of the things that they will experience are, could potentially experience are drinking and driving, texting and driving, those types of situations. They will also be, some of them will be exposed to an emergency room. So at the crash scene, someone will be taken to an emergency room. Some of them will experience what that's like, what the parents go through, what the person goes through. Another group will go to court and see firsthand what happens in a court of law based on some of their choices, whether it's drinking and
Mr. Chairman, my intent was to speak briefly on the SPLOS.
Yes, sir.
But in addition to that, give me a couple of minutes and I will express my mind on a few things. There are a number of people in this organization that nobody out on the street ever heard of, and the activities that they perform to make us one of the better schools in the country, school system in the country. We have directors of various departments like transportation, food services, finance, facilities, and so on, and many of them. But nobody's ever heard of them. We need to extend this to the public at large to see the work that they are doing. Our assistant superintendents are hard workers. They're not jokers, they're hard workers. And I can tell you, they put more than 8 hours a day in the work. So let the school system be one of the best, not only in the state, but in the country. And we need to appreciate them and extend our love towards them. Also our principals. Let me tell you something, I've visited every single school. And we have some of the best principals in this state. And I'm saying this beyond the shadow of a doubt. I've spoken with them, I've had discussions with parents and even students about these principals. And they are just great. We are lucky in this county. And I tell you something, let us continue to encourage them. Because without them, we wouldn't be at the top at the moment. So we thank you all for the work you're doing. And we certainly appreciate, as a county, we appreciate every single thing that you're doing. Yes. The children is a clear example as to their performances. They are outstanding students mainly because of these principles.
Yes.
And we are very grateful to you for the work you have done and are doing. And needless to say, our assistant superintendents, they are in your back, I know that, watching everything that you are doing and putting their first foot forward, mainly because they want us to be the best in the country. And we are heading towards that very soon. And the superintendent, unmatched in this state.
Yes, sir.
Take it from me, he's unmatched in this state. We are thankful to him, we are grateful to him, and we have a board, a dedicated board, that I must tell you, I would never like to see this board change.
Thank you.
I'm honest about it.
Thank you, sir.
I would never like to see this board change. They work as a team, they cooperate with the administration, and they get things done quickly. They don't facilitate, they get things done quickly. And for that reason, I'm going to extend this to the public at large. I'm going to go up there and broadcast it. You might see it on the news. And I'm telling you, this needs to be told to the public at large. And finally, this plus.
Yes.
Please, for heaven's sake, everybody, if you are eligible for voting, please go and vote. Because this plus is going to help the school system. The roads have to be widened. I've seen some buses going to some corners, hard jump. And there are programs to be widened. And if we don't approve this plus, they cannot be widened. Our water supply, at the moment, they are doing a lot of planning for the development of our water supply. And we must approve this plus. And I'm asking you all, please, go and vote. And thank you very much for what you're doing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Those are all the items that we have on our agenda, and we have nothing for executive session. So at this time, we will need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.